Foreword, an introduction to a timeless herb. For centuries, the gentle, evocative scent of lavender has woven itself into the fabric of human civilization, evoking feelings of calm, cleanliness, and beauty. From ancient Roman baths to modern-day gardens, this perennial has stood as a symbol of tranquility and a testament to the enduring power of nature's simple gifts. Beyond its universally loved fragrance, the plant known scientifically as Lavender is a complex and fascinating specimen. It is a member of the robust mint family, Lamiaceae, a botanical lineage that includes many other celebrated aromatic herbs, native to the sun-drenched, rocky landscapes of the Mediterranean. This herb has evolved to thrive in conditions that many other plants would find inhospitable. Cultivating lavender is more than a simple gardening task, it is an act of historical connection and an exercise in patience. This guide offers a comprehensive look at the world of lavender, blending a detailed, expert-level analysis with a personal, first-hand chronicle of the plant's growth. Through this dual-format approach, a journey from a tiny seed to a magnificent, mature plant is revealed, providing both the foundational knowledge and the personal inspiration required to successfully nurture this extraordinary herb. Part 1: The First Few Months, Sowing the Seeds of a Dream. The Gardener's Log, Weeks 1 to 4. A Leap of Faith. My gardening adventure began not with a splashy purchase from a nursery, but with a small, unassuming packet of seeds. It felt like a true leap of faith. The gardener's manuals warned me that this was the slowest, most challenging path to a mature plant, but the thought of cultivating something from its very first moment was too compelling to resist. I prepared a shallow seed tray, mixing a high-quality potting mix with a generous amount of sand to mimic the gritty, well-draining soil that lavender adores. I knew from my research that the temperature was critical, requiring a consistent range between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and I meticulously monitored it to prevent failure. The seeds were not buried but were placed lightly on the surface and barely covered, a critical step to ensure they received the light necessary to germinate. I kept the soil moist with a fine mist, constantly checking to ensure it was damp but not waterlogged, a balance I instinctively knew would be my greatest challenge. The waiting began. Day after day, I checked the tray, my excitement battling the gnawing fear that nothing would happen. The journey to a mature plant from seed, I had learned, could take up to 2 years before a single bloom appeared. This process required not just a green thumb, but a large dose of patience. Botanical roots and cultivation fundamentals. Taxonomic classification and global origins. The plant we commonly call lavender is part of the genus Lavandula, which comprises some 47 known species of perennial plants. These species are all part of the mint family, Lamiaceae, a characteristic that accounts for lavender's intensely aromatic nature. This botanical family is widely known for its members' high concentration of volatile essential oils, which are often described as herbaceous and even slightly camphorous, providing a complexity to their fragrance that goes beyond a simple floral note. This genus is native to the Old World, with its origins in the drier, warmer regions of the Mediterranean. This geographical background is not merely a piece of trivia, it is the key to understanding the plant's fundamental cultivation needs. Its affinity for maritime breezes and its evolutionary adaptation to arid climates explain why a well-drained, sandy, or gravelly soil is not just a preference, but a vital necessity for its survival. This natural predisposition is the primary reason why overwatering is considered the most common cause of failure for lavender plants, as it leads to root rot and other moisture-related diseases. 2. Choosing your companion, the diverse world of lavender. While there are over 400 varieties of lavender, the selection for most gardeners can be narrowed down to 4 primary groups: English, Lavandula angustifolia; French, L. dentata; Spanish, L. stachys; and Lavandin hybrids, L. X. intermedia. Each group offers a unique set of characteristics that dictate its best use in a garden and home. English lavender, Lavandula angustifolia, is perhaps the most well-known and widely cultivated species. It is celebrated for its classic, sweet, and pure floral scent, which makes it the preferred choice for culinary applications. This variety is exceptionally hardy and can withstand colder climates, thriving in USDA zones 5 to 8. Some popular cultivars include Munstead and Hidcote. Munstead is often described as having a softer, silvery violet or lavender blue color, and it tends to be an early bloomer. Its growth habit is slightly more open and shaggy. Hidcote, in contrast, is known for its deep, intense purple-blue flowers and more compact, denser spikes. Both varieties feature the smooth, rosemary-like foliage characteristic of English lavender. French lavender, Lavandula dentata, is easily identified by its distinctive, finely toothed leaves, which give it its Latin name, dentata. Unlike its English counterpart, French lavender has a lighter fragrance with more pronounced herbaceous and camphorous notes. It is a popular ornamental plant, often used in rock gardens or containers. This variety is better adapted to humid and steamy conditions, which makes it a good choice for gardeners in the mid-Atlantic and upper and lower south of the U.S. Its longer blooming period, often stretching from early summer to fall, makes it a desirable choice for continuous color. A popular cultivar is Grosso, known for its bold, dark purple flowers and vigorous, large size, which makes it a favorite for essential oil production due to its high oil yield. Another is Provence, which is cherished for its light blooms, slender stems, and rich fragrance, often used in the classic spice blend. Herbe de Provence. Spanish lavender, Lavandula stachys, is a visually striking variety, recognizable by its unique, pinecone-shaped flower heads topped with prominent bunny ear bracts. Its fragrance is strong and pungent, often carrying a distinctive eucalyptus aroma. This species is highly tolerant of heat and drought, making it an excellent choice for low-maintenance landscapes in warmer climates. It is a perfect focal point for courtyard gardens and containers. In warm climates, it can bloom almost continuously from mid-spring to late summer. Lavandin hybrids, Lavandula X intermedia, are a cross between English and Portuguese lavender. These hybrids are known for their vigorous and fast growth, reaching a larger size than English lavender. Their scent is sharper and more highly camphorous than English lavender, making them the most fragrant varieties, with a particularly high essential oil content. This potency makes them a top choice for commercial essential oil production and industrial uses like soaps and cleaning products. A critical point of distinction lies in their fragrance profiles. English lavender is prized for its classic, sweet, and floral scent, making it the preferred choice for culinary applications. In contrast, the Lavandin hybrids, which are a cross between English and Portuguese lavender, are known for their strong, sharp, and more camphorous scent. This potent aroma, while less suited for consumption, makes them highly desirable for essential oil production and industrial uses like soaps and cleaning products. The choice of variety is also a strategic decision based on the gardener's local climate. English lavender is exceptionally hardy and performs well in cooler climates, surviving winters in USDA zones 5 to 8. However, it may struggle in regions with high heat and humidity. Conversely, French and Spanish lavenders are better adapted to humid and steamy conditions. This means that a gardener must select a variety that is not just aesthetically pleasing but is genetically predisposed to thrive in their specific environment, thereby avoiding a common cause of plant failure. 3. Propagation methods, a question of time and patience. The gardener's journey begins with a fundamental choice: how to propagate the plant. The three most common methods are from seed, from cuttings, or by transplanting a pre-grown nursery plant. This decision creates a fundamental trade-off between time, cost, and patience. From seed, growing lavender from seed is the most economical method, but it is also the slowest and most challenging. Lavender seeds are notoriously finicky and can take a surprising 14 to 30 days to germinate. To improve the chances of success, it is often recommended to first cold stratify the seeds, a process that involves placing them in a refrigerator for 30 to 40 days to mimic the frosty winters of their native habitat and help break dormancy. After the seeds sprout, the seedlings require another 2 to 3 months of careful tending before they are large enough to be transplanted outdoors. A major consideration with this method is that the plant may take up to 2 years to produce its first bloom. The time investment is significant, but the reward of watching a plant grow from its very beginning is unparalleled. From cuttings. Propagation from cuttings is a quicker and more reliable alternative to growing from seed. The best time to take cuttings is typically between June and September. From healthy, pest-free stems on a mature plant. There are 2 types of cuttings, softwood and hardwood. Softwood cuttings, taken from the soft, flexible tips of new growth, root faster, in as little as 2 to 4 weeks. Hardwood cuttings, taken from thicker, slightly woody stems after the flowering season, take longer to root but can also be successful. The process begins with selecting a stem that has no blossoms. As flowers drain the plant of energy needed for rooting, you should use a clean, sharp knife or pruning shears to take a 3 to 6 inch cutting. Next, remove all leaves from the bottom 2 inches of the stem, as this part will be planted in the soil. This exposes the nodes where new roots will form. The cutting can then be dipped in a rooting hormone, an optional but recommended step that mimics natural plant hormones to encourage root growth. The cutting is then placed in a pot filled with well-draining soil, like a mix with added sand or perlite, and kept in a warm place with bright, indirect sunlight. After a few weeks, a gentle tug can confirm if the cutting has successfully rooted. Under the right conditions, cuttings can root in as little as 3 to 6 weeks and may even flower in their first year. From nursery plants. The fastest and the most convenient method, however, is to purchase a robust nursery plant. This option is the most expensive, but it offers the instant gratification of having a plant with an established root system that can be immediately transplanted into the garden. Nursery plants are typically more resilient and can be expected to flower in their very first season. Part 2, the first year, patience and foundation. The Gardener's Log, months 1 to 12, tending to a tiny treasure. After a long wait, the first tiny sprouts emerged, a delicate sign of life that filled me with a sense of immense relief. I carefully moved the seedlings to their own individual containers, watching them slowly develop their first true leaves over the next couple of months. The next major milestone was transplanting them to their final home in the garden. I chose a spot that received at least 8 hours of direct sunlight, and I amended the soil with a generous amount of gravel to ensure the perfect drainage, knowing this would be the key to their survival. The first year was a constant battle against my own instincts. The impulse was to water them frequently, as I would with most new plants, but I knew that a lavender's roots would quickly succumb to rot if they were constantly wet. The rule became simple: allow the soil to dry out completely between waterings. I watched anxiously for signs of overwatering, like yellowing leaves, and made sure to provide deep, infrequent watering to encourage a robust, deep root system. The most difficult moment, however, was the first time a flower spike began to emerge. Every fiber of my being wanted to let it bloom, but I knew that this was a critical moment for the plant's long-term health. I clipped off the first tender blooms, redirecting the plant's precious energy away from reproduction and toward building a strong, enduring foundation. The juvenile stage, establishing a stronghold. 4. Essential care for the first year. The first year of a lavender plant's life is a crucial period dedicated to building a strong root system and a foundation of lush foliage. During this juvenile stage, the plant is more sensitive to environmental fluctuations and requires careful attention to its core needs. The most critical factors for success are sunlight and soil. Lavender is a sun-loving perennial that requires a minimum of 6 to 8 hours of direct sun per day, with 8 to 10 hours being ideal for optimal growth and bloom production. The plant's soil must be well drained, replicating its native habitat. It thrives in sandy, gravelly, or loamy soil with a slightly alkaline pH, ideally between 6.5 and 7.5. Amending heavy clay soil with sand or grit is a necessary step to ensure water can drain away quickly, preventing the roots from sitting in saturated conditions, a situation known to be fatal to the plant. The yellowing of leaves is a classic visual indicator of a plant that is receiving too much water. Watering is perhaps the most nuanced aspect of first-year care. While mature lavender plants are exceptionally drought-tolerant, new plants require deep, regular watering to encourage the development of their root system. A new plant should be watered deeply about once a week during its first summer to help it become established. Once it is established, watering can be significantly reduced to infrequent, deep waterings, allowing the soil to dry out completely between each session. Watering in the morning is recommended to give the plants time to dry before nightfall, which helps prevent fungal diseases. Lavender plants prefer soil that is low in nutrients, so fertilizing is generally not necessary and can even be harmful. An excess of nitrogen can lead to a plant that produces lush foliage at the expense of its flowers. Mulching is another area that requires special attention. While it can help retain moisture and suppress weeds, it is crucial to use a light layer and keep it away from the plant space to prevent moisture buildup and potential rot. Pea gravel or crushed stone works well as a top dressing, reflecting light and helping to warm the soil, which lavender loves. The crucial first prune. One of the most important but counterintuitive practices in the first year is the removal of the plant's first flower spikes. The purpose of this practice is to encourage the plant to channel its limited energy into building a robust root system and developing strong, bushy foliage, rather than expending energy on reproduction. This act of delayed gratification ensures that the plant has the necessary foundational strength to thrive for years to come. When pruning, it is important to clip the growth off at the base of the flower spike, just above a pair of leaves. It is a critical rule in lavender care to never cut into the woody part of the stem, as this old growth will not regenerate. This strategic approach during the plant's first season lays the groundwork for a larger, more vigorous plant that will produce a more abundant bloom in the following years. Part 3, Year 2, A Symphony in Purple. The Gardener's Log, Months 13 to 24, The Reward of Waiting. The second spring brought a new wave of anticipation. The plant, now twice its original size, showed no signs of a flower spike for months. But then, as summer approached, the first signs of a bud appeared, followed quickly by a second, and then a third. Over a span of weeks, the plant erupted into a glorious display, a symphony of purple that filled the air with a sweet, floral perfume. The scent was richer than I had ever imagined, a tangible reward for all the patience of the previous year. When the time came to harvest, I knew the best moment was in the morning, after the dew had dried but before the sun's heat could cause the fragrant oils to dissipate. With sharp, clean shears, I gathered a handful of sprigs and cut just above a set of leaves, a small act of precision that redirected the plant's energy and encouraged a second, smaller bloom later in the season. The bundles of sprigs were hung upside down in a cool, dark room, their scent slowly permeating the air as they dried. Watching the vibrant color transform into a subdued hue and feeling the brittle buds fall off the stems was the most satisfying part of the process, a culmination of 2 years of dedicated work. The maturation period, bloom, harvest, and rejuvenation. Understanding the bloom cycle. A lavender plant's transition from a juvenile to a mature state is marked by its first significant bloom, an event that can take up to 2 years to occur, depending on the propagation method. The timing and longevity of the bloom cycle are highly dependent on the variety and local climate. In warm climates, varieties like French and Spanish lavender can bloom almost continuously from early summer through late autumn. English lavender, in contrast, typically blooms from early to mid-summer, with the main flush lasting about 3 to 4 weeks. A proactive gardener can directly influence the plant's bloom cycle, pruning after the first flush of flowers has faded encourages the plant to produce a second, smaller bloom in late summer or early autumn. This strategic intervention prevents the plant from becoming leggy and directs its energy into producing more blooms and a healthier form. The most abundant and fragrant bloom is a direct result of proper care and a deep understanding of the plant's needs, transforming a passive process into a dynamic collaboration between gardener and plant. 7. Harvesting and drying for maximum fragrance. The art of harvesting lavender is centered on a single principle: preserving the maximum concentration of essential oils. The ideal time to harvest is in the morning, shortly after the dew has evaporated but before the intense heat of the day begins to cause the oils to diffuse and evaporate. The plant's fragrance is a direct consequence of shining oil glands embedded among tiny plant hairs that cover the flowers, leaves, and stems. The most odoriferous plants grow in regions with the greatest solar energy, which further emphasizes the need for a morning harvest to capture the scent at its peak. To harvest, clean pruning shears should be used to cut the flower stems just above a set of leaves or side branches, always avoiding the woody base of the plant. For essential oil production, it is best to harvest when the buds have a deep color but have not yet fully opened. For culinary uses, a harvest during full bloom is recommended. After harvesting, the flowers should be air-dried in small, tight bundles, hung upside down in a cool, dark, and well-ventilated space for about 2 weeks. This process ensures the buds become brittle, a sign that they are fully dry and ready to be stored in an airtight glass container to preserve their lovely aroma. Some gardeners even store the dried buds in the freezer for maximum freshness. Part 4, Years 3+, An Enduring Legacy. The Gardener's Log, Years 3 and Beyond. A Garden Sentinel. By the 3rd year, my lavender plant was no longer a fragile treasure. It had become a self-sufficient sentinel in the garden. Its woody base a testament to its hardiness and my care. My role had shifted from an anxious guardian to a proactive caretaker. My routine now consisted of 2 strategic prunes a year, one in the early spring to remove any winter damage and shape the plant, and a second, more substantial prune in late summer after the main flowering had ended. I had learned the hard way that cutting into the old wood was a mistake that could leave a permanent scar, and so I carefully trimmed only the soft, green growth. The abundant harvest each summer became a cherished ritual. I would use the buds to make simple syrups for summer lemonades, or fill sachets for drawers and closets. Their scent a constant, comforting reminder of the garden's bounty. The plant itself had also become a living monument to the wider ecosystem, a constant buzz of bumblebees and butterflies serving as a reminder of its silent, ongoing contribution to the health of the garden. This simple herb had become a permanent part of my life, a source of beauty, fragrance, and an enduring connection to the natural world. Ensuring longevity, pests, diseases, and winter care. 8. Common challenges and organic solutions. While lavender is a remarkably resilient plant, its vulnerability to certain pests and diseases is a direct consequence of its specific environmental needs. The most significant threat is not an insect or a fungus, but rather the cultural conditions in which it is grown. The majority of problems, including root rot and other fungal diseases, are a direct result of improper drainage and overly wet soil, overwatering or planting in heavy, clay-based soil that retains moisture is the primary cause of these ailments. Fungal infections like botrytis blight, grey mold, thrive in cool, damp conditions and can cause brown or grey spots on leaves, stems, and flowers. Lavender sheb. Phomopsis lavandulae is another fungal disease that can cause young shoots to wilt and die, a problem that is often exacerbated by wounds from harvesting or clipping. Pests such as aphids, whiteflies, and spider mites can also pose a threat. These soft-bodied pests suck sap from the plant, which can lead to stunted growth, yellowing leaves, and a host of other issues. Root knot nematodes can also damage the plant by infesting its roots, further leading to stunted growth. However, The plant's natural properties can be leveraged to create a self-sustaining ecosystem of pest control. Lavender attracts a wide variety of beneficial insects, including ladybugs, lacewings, and praying mantises, which are natural predators of common garden pests. This biological control reduces the need for chemical interventions. A healthy lavender plant, when planted and cared for correctly, becomes a central hub for biodiversity, contributing to the overall balance of the garden ecosystem. For targeted issues, organic solutions like insecticidal soap, neem oil, and the introduction of beneficial bacteria can be highly effective. For fungal diseases, organic fungicides with copper or sulfur can also be used. 9. Pruning for perennial health. Pruning is a strategic process that ensures the plant's health and longevity, potentially allowing it to survive for 10 to 15 years. The optimal pruning schedule consists of 2 annual sessions, one in early spring and another in late summer. The spring prune, performed after the last threat of frost has passed, serves to remove any dead or damaged stems from the winter and to lightly shape the plant before new growth begins. During this time, you should remove any dead or woody growth, cutting back to the healthy green growth. The second, more substantial prune occurs after the main flowering period in late summer. During this session, the plant should be cut back by about 1/3 of its overall height to maintain a rounded, compact shape and prevent it from becoming leggy and woody. This hard prune directs the plant's energy back into its root system to prepare for winter dormancy, an essential step for its survival through colder months. A fundamental rule for all lavender pruning is to never cut into the old, woody parts of the plant, as it will not regenerate new growth from old wood. X. An ecosystem of life, lavender and pollinators. Lavender is a magnet for pollinators, providing a vital food source in the form of nectar and pollen for a diverse range of insects, including bees, butterflies, and hoverflies. The relationship is a mutually beneficial one, as the pollinators, in turn, aid in the plant's reproduction. Research has shown a fascinating specialization within this symbiotic relationship. Bumblebees, due to their long tongues, are more efficient foragers on lavender flowers than shorter-tongued honeybees, spending significantly less time on each bloom. This level of specialization highlights the intricate design of the natural world and demonstrates the immense ecological value of including lavender in a garden. By planting lavender, a gardener not only enjoys its beauty and fragrance but also actively supports the health of local pollinator populations, which are essential for the reproduction of many other plants. Part 5, From the Garden to the World. The Gardener's Log, an everlasting scent. I often find myself using the dried lavender buds from my own plant in simple recipes, and as I do, I am transported back through time. The scent is a living connection to the past, evoking the image of ancient Romans adding it to their baths, or of Queen Elizabeth I using it for her tea and migraines. This simple plant has been a constant in human history, its purpose evolving from a high-status burial herb to a practical tool for hygiene and healing. My lavender plant has become more than just a part of my garden, it is a permanent and cherished part of my home, a timeless source of beauty, healing, and connection. A global herb, its history, symbolism, and diverse uses. 11. A rich and storied past, 2.500 years of history. The history of lavender is deeply intertwined with that of human civilization, with its use tracing back at least 2.500 years. Its name is believed to be derived from the Latin verb lavare, meaning to wash, a testament to its widespread use in ancient Roman baths and for general sanitation. The Romans cherished lavender for its use in bath rituals, where its sweet and herbaceous scent would create a calming atmosphere. They also carried lavender to dress wounds and ward off infections, underscoring its value in ancient medicine. Lavender was also a high-status commodity, used by ancient Egyptians for mummification and perfumery. When King Tutankhamun's tomb was opened, traces of lavender were found, and its scent could still be detected after more than 3,000 years. The biblical name nard is thought to refer to a variety of lavender, highlighting its historical value and association with luxury. Its pragmatic applications continued through the centuries. During World War I, its antiseptic properties were so valued that its essential oil was used to disinfect floors and walls in field hospitals. 12. Culinary and medicinal applications. The versatility of lavender extends from the garden to the kitchen and the medicine cabinet. For culinary purposes, English lavender, L. angustifolia, is the preferred choice due to its sweet and palatable scent profile. The dried flowers can be incorporated into a wide variety of dishes, including baked goods, simple syrups for cocktails and lemonades, and as a garnish for salads and desserts. It is one of the key herbs in the classic spice blend. Herbe de Provence. Other culinary uses include making lavender butter, flavoring teas and lattes, and creating a unique seasoning salt for popcorn. Lavender pairs well with other strong flavors like lemon, rosemary, and blueberries. In the realm of aromatherapy and herbal medicine, lavender is widely used for its therapeutic properties, most notably for calming anxiety, reducing stress, and promoting restful sleep. Preliminary studies have indicated potential benefits for a variety of ailments, including menstrual pain, headache relief, wound healing, and even hair growth. The primary active compounds in lavender essential oil are linalool and linalool acetate, which are responsible for its soothing, anti-inflammatory, and analgesic effects. Research has shown that lavender aromatherapy can reduce self-rated anxiety and improve sleep quality for people with cancer. A study on women with primary dysmenorrhea found that a massage with lavender oil significantly decreased period pain. It is important to note the critical distinction between consuming lavender as a food ingredient and using its concentrated essential oil for medicinal purposes. While lavender is generally safe in the amounts typically used in food, oral consumption of essential oils is not advised. The National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, NCI, warns that oral lavender products may cause side effects such as headache, nausea, or burping, and can potentially interact with sedative drugs. This distinction between a safe, mild culinary herb and a potent, concentrated medicinal substance is a crucial consideration for any responsible user. Conclusion: an enduring legacy. The journey from the minuscule, delicate seed to a robust, long-lived perennial is one that requires patience and dedication. However, the rewards are immense. A lavender plant is a source of continuous beauty, a beacon for pollinators, and a living connection to a history that spans millennia. Its ability to thrive in poor, rocky soil and its natural resistance to many pests make it a testament to nature's resilience. Ultimately, lavender is more than just a fragrant addition to a garden. It is a source of joy and tranquility, a living testament to a legacy of beauty, healing, and perseverance. By understanding its deep botanical roots and mastering its specific cultivation needs, a gardener can ensure that this timeless herb will continue to flourish for many years to come, offering a sense of calm and a deep connection to the natural world.